Hey, how you doing there? Henry Olsen here from Super Simple Guitar, and I want to welcome you to another one of my true stories. This is true story number 3. In episode number 1, I talked about how I got my first paying gig as a guitar player. In episode number 2, I talked about how I went from crying on the floor after my book was a total failure to shipping those books all over the world. And now in episode number 3, I want to talk about how I became a professional guitar teacher and kind of the serendipity that kind of went into that, right? The struggle and the serendipity and how it all kind of just came together, okay? So with these true stories, there's always a lesson in them. And what I do is I hope that with my story and with what I went through to get where I am today, my hope is that will also inspire you and help you along your journey. So if you like these true stories, let me know in the comments so I know whether to keep making them or not. But this was really the kind of video that I was searching for when I was, finding my way, And I do really hope that my kids will also one day watch these. So let me get right into it. So I had been working at a factory. I was working at a milk factory. I did the night shift, I was working all night, and then I had the day shift, and then I had the morning shift. So I was working in a 3-shift circle, 1 week night, 1 week afternoon, 1 week morning. So it was pretty difficult. I did that for 3 years. And I was playing a lot of guitar. I had my first son, Sebastian. He was born at the time. And, it was paying the bills, and we could keep the lights on and pay rent and everything, and feed the baby. But I knew there has to be more to life than this. There was this calling inside of me, knowing that I can do more, right? I can be more. And of course I loved the guitar. I was always playing the guitar every free minute when I wasn't changing diapers or working. I was playing guitar, So I was obsessed with guitar, and I knew that if I don't change something soon that, I'm going to end up working in a factory for the rest of my life, and that could have happened, So I kind of went hardcore, and I said, I'm a musician, and I'm going to be a musician. I'm going to, do everything that I can to become a professional musician, And I had that mentality for a long time as I was working in the factory, but I never cut the cord. It took me a while to cut the cord. So, I got to this point where it was just, I'm a musician. I'm going to be a musician, period. There's no compromise anymore. So what I actually did is I just quit my job. It's pretty radical. I quit my job at the factory, and I took this part-time job as a waiter, okay? So I cut down my hours from 40 hours a week to 25 hours a week. And the cool thing about the waitering job was that the waitering job was a morning, like a breakfast waiter. So I knew that in the mornings, okay, not every day, but some days in the week, I would be, working as a waiter in the morning, and then in the afternoon, and on those days when I wasn't working, I knew I'm just going to be playing guitar all the time, right? I didn't have a plan how I was going to become a professional guitar player or how I was going to take the guitar and actually make a living with it. But I just knew I'm going to become a professional guitar player, and I don't care what I have to do or how I'm going to do it. This is going to happen. So anyways, and at the time I was playing a lot of electric guitar, a lot of shredding, trying to play fast, a lot of blues. I was playing in a rock band, but not earning hardly any money, Rock band, I'd play at like motorcycle festivals where we'd make like 50 euros a night, and we'd play like 10 gigs a year and rehearse 3 times a week. Or twice a week. So clearly there was no way that I was going to make a living doing that, So I was kind of scrambling, trying to find ways of how to actually make a living, And of course, continue to play the guitar and get good at it, Continue to embrace this love for music, and really take it seriously. So I was working as a breakfast waiter, and then here's kind of the serendipity part of it all. So I quit my job at the time. When I quit, I just quit, and then I started looking for this other job, right? And my wife, I have to give a shout out to my wife, thank God for her. She found me this waitering gig. And the interesting thing and the kind of serendipity in this all is that in the description he said, I'm looking for a cool hip guy who likes music and like is into arts, something like that. It was a weird hotel job description. So I went to meet the guy, and it was really interesting because the guy, the owner, he also played guitar. In this hotel he had this special like lounge room where he had this great music system set up, and guests could just go in there and listen to music that was just with these high quality speakers. So it was a very good fit, right? He played guitar. We always talked about guitar when I was working there. So it was just this, I made the decision to quit my job. The next job, after I committed to being a musician, was with this guy who also was into music, who also played guitar. So there was this weird, serendipity there, okay? Law of attraction stuff. I'm a law of attraction guy. I'm not going to go into that stuff, but that stuff has worked for me, okay? I'm not going to talk about it, but that stuff worked for me, and that stuff works. So anyways, I'm working there, and one day he says to me, there's this famous guitar player, Austrian guitar player, who's going to come into the hotel, and he's going to be a guest here at the hotel. So I thought, wow, cool, I'm going to get to meet this famous guitar player guy. I won't name his name, but I'm going to get to meet him, right? And he came a couple days later, and he played a gig inside of the hotel, a private gig. And it was acoustic fingerstyle guitar. Now that was something that I had never been exposed to. At the time, I was listening to Warren Hayes, Government Mule, Robin Ford, Eric Clapton, B.B. King, a lot of blues. So I wasn't exposed to fingerstyle acoustic guitar. I haven't really heard that before. And this guy came into the hotel as a guest, and he played this private concert, which was really just magical. It was magical. It was a small setting, just this one guy alone with a small amp, and he covered all the bases. The melody was there. The groove was there. The people loved it. It was just this magical concert. And for the first time, I saw, wow, this guy arrived here alone with an acoustic guitar. He blew everybody away. He gets paid to do this. He doesn't have to sing, because I can't sing either. And at the end, I saw he was selling all these CDs. So it kind of showed me this new direction of playing guitar, So that was just this blown mind experience. And again, it goes to that serendipity of me deciding that I'm going to do this. I don't care how I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do this. Then I start working at a hotel where the guy is looking for an artistic type of waiter, which is kind of weird, but it's what happened. And then this guy comes and he plays, okay? And there's going to be much more about this guy too in the story, okay? So I'm just setting the scene here. So the next day, and I talked to him shortly, the guitar player guy. The next day, the boss tells me this guitar player guy has a guitar seminar like today. Do you want to go there after work? Because you work here, you can go there. It's free. Just go check it out, And at the time, I was like, no, man, I'm just, I'm an electric guy, even though I think it's cool, I'm an electric guitar player, what am I going to do with this acoustic thing, right? There's no place for me there. But I thought, well, let me just go check it out. So I took my guitar, I went and I checked it out. And I kind of thought that I'd be able to play it since I kind of thought that I was good at the time. And I swear I could not play any of the stuff that he was playing because he had that Chet Atkins style, thumb picking thing going, the alternate bass. I could not do that, okay? So for the next year, I said to myself, this is now my goal. I'm going to learn how to play this style, okay? And that's when I really got into Tommy Emmanuel, Adam Rafferty, who now is my really good friend and mentor, which is also another story that I'm going to tell one day. I got into all of these great acoustic guitar player guys, and at the time, my goal was to become one of those guys. So I thought, I'm just going to get really good at this style. I see this guy, he's touring, he's teaching, he doesn't know how to sing, he's playing gigs. He was driving like a Land Rover, so I thought, okay, he's making a living doing this. He's not just getting by, he's actually, created a great lifestyle for himself. And he'd also talk about how he never wants to retire because he loves what he does, And of course, that resonates with anybody, hopefully, to want to have that, right? So, so I practiced fingerstyle for a whole year. I was obsessed with it. I learned how to play classical gas. I learned how to play Yesterday. I saw Adam Rafferty playing that, so I watched his video and learned it from his video. And I just spent a lot of time going really deep with fingerstyle, right? Because I thought, I'm going to be a fingerstyle guitar player. That's the path. That's how I'm going to do this, okay? So the next year, I go to the same guy's seminar, okay, for the second time. And this time, I've been practicing for a year, so I'm ready, Guitar teacher guy, bring it. Henry Olsen is ready, right? So it was me and it was all these other students. There were probably like 10 students. And a lot of them were beginner levels. Like they were, far behind. So this guitar teacher guy, he's a great player, but he's a really, really crappy teacher. Okay, he goes way too fast, and he was really overwhelming the students because he teach one song, he teaches second song, third song in one day, and it took me like a week to learn just one of the tunes, right? And I was already at a pretty high level. So the second year that I went there, I was able to follow along, right? Because I had been busting my butt learning the style for a whole year, right? I was in, So what happened is that all of these students, at least half of them, could not follow, and I was following, right? So what did I do? I said, all right, guys, you guys who, aren't with him right now, let me kind of take over a little bit and show you guys because I have the part down. So I kind of became his unofficial assistant at that second year, right? What did this do to my brain? It finally lit that final spark where I thought to myself, this guy's making a living and he's a crappy teacher. I'm a much better teacher because I actually can help these people. They were actually learning the tune with me because I was going slow. I paid attention to what they were doing. The musician guy is also kind of like an alcoholic. He smokes a lot. So he's not as passionate of a teacher. He does it to get by. But I'm a passionate teacher, and I could see that when I was helping these other students. So that lit the spark. Henry, you don't need to be this stage guy, because my inner conflict with being the touring musician or the stage playing musician was always family, because I'd see Adam Rafferty or Tommy Emmanuel, and they'd always be on tour. You look at their tour schedule, they'd be traveling all over the place. So I knew that for me to be a family man, that really wouldn't work, okay? So that's where the teaching light bulb went off in my head, and I thought, I can do this. I can do this. So I went home, I told my wife, Claudia, I'm going to be a guitar teacher. What did she say? She wasn't very excited. And nobody was, that's another takeaway from these true stories. When I was telling people, I'm going to be a professional guitar player, I'm going to be a guitar teacher, I swear to God, not a single person took me seriously. Not to down or to diss anybody, because it's their limited belief system of what they think they can do, right? Anytime you say you're going to do something and somebody doesn't believe you, that's just a reflection of their belief system, not yours. So the most important thing that I learned is do not ever, ever, ever ask for anybody to agree or to embrace your vision. Because in my experience, nobody really can, okay? At least if you're doing something that's outside of the norm, right? Being a guitar teacher and being self-employed isn't really what they teach you to do at school, right? It's all about, the rat race and do your career and show up on time, right? So my huge takeaway there was, when you decide to do something, serendipity kind of steps in. You follow the path. It takes a lot of time, but slowly you just keep, navigating and stuff starts to happen. Okay, so yeah, you don't need approval from anybody to do what you feel that you need to do. Okay. And do not expect that when you tell people you're going to do something, do not expect for them to see that vision working, because most people won't. So it's best to either keep it to yourself or find people who think in the way that you think. Thank God for me, my friend Adam Rafferty. He's now a friend. That's somebody who I talk to daily because he's somebody who also is on that path, right? So whatever you decide to do or try to do or want to do in life, if it's outside of the norm, just know that if you really dedicate yourself and work hard and are focused, and if you don't give up, right? It takes a lot of, it's hard to not give up, but don't ever give up, and you'll make it, okay? So that's my true story of how I became a guitar teacher. So after that, I just put on an ad on the internet, and shortly after that, somebody contacted me and wanted the first lesson, And then I built a website, which I didn't know how to do, but of course, if you're dedicated, then you find a way, right? So I built a website, people started sending me emails, and then all of a sudden, I was a guitar teacher, So lots of times the thing that you could do, but you're kind of afraid to do, is right in front of you. All you need to do is make that ad and slowly start to build it, okay? Okay, so I hope that this inspired you in some way. I hope it helped you. My name's Henry Olsen. I'll see you with the next True Stories and with the next lesson very soon. Take it easy. Bye-bye.